Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into round number 9 of the 2018 MotoOption Clothing Supercross Series, presented by Race Tech Suspension, live here on Star Systems TV. My name is Kellen Brower, and we are in Hotlanta, Atlanta. Can you believe it? We're already halfway through the series, and I'm having a trouble there. But yeah, we're in Atlanta, and it's round number 2 of the Triple Crown tonight. For those of you that are just tuning in, maybe you've realized that I have not been streaming for the past 20 minutes. No opening ceremonies tonight, just had a couple things get in the way, so unable to do that, but we're still going to bring you all the action tonight, and hopefully you guys will sit back and enjoy the show. We are currently in a holding pattern, so I'm going to show you guys around this track a little bit as a start. Of course, we got a pretty long start straight, nearly half the distance of the stadium. Well, more than half the distance, then a little roller for the first turn complex. Out of this corner, these guys are staying to the right-hand side of this roller, going along here, and then they're able to triple up right into here, and then triple into the corner right here. And then they'll come around here, they'll triple out of this corner, down, triple over here, down, 180 bowl corner. So there's going to be a lot of passing tonight because there's good 180 bowl corners. There's a whoop section, into a couple inside rollers, then this is one full-length roller, and then so there's a couple of different ways to go through here. The fast line that the 450 guys are doing was 3 in, and then off this table, jump all the way to this table, off, and then 3 onto the next table, and then jump to the inside of this corner over the carrot jump. Then through this section, they would either go 2-3 or 3-2. Standard Supercross triple after another 180 bowl corner right here. Another 180 bowl corner, and then this line is 3, and then table over single. Not many guys going double on off, and then a little double before the finish line jump, and that is a lap around Atlanta. MotoOption Clothing Supercross live here on Star Systems TV. So triple crowd format, let's talk about that real quick before we get the festivities underway. Coming up on your screen is a look at the MotoOption Supercross 101 triple crown format. We should get that consolation race. Well, actually, yeah, consolation race for anybody outside of the top 40 is going to be coming up first. If there is enough guys, there might not be. And then we'll have the 250 and 450 last chance qualifiers. That's runners that qualified 19th to 40th lining up for those last 4 spots in the 3 main events tonight. So 18 guys already qualified into the 3 main events. 22 guys outside looking in want to get into those last 4 spots, and then you can see the rest from there. We go 6 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes for the 250 class, and then 8 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes for the 450 class. Round number 9 of MotoOption Supercross live here on SYS TV. So we're going to get that going in just a moment, so hang tightly. And so glad to see that people are jumping into chat, hanging out. Good to have you guys joining us tonight. We already got the numbers boosted up on both YouTube and Twitch. Another SYS simulcast. This is the 6th time we've done this year. 5th time we've done it this year, my bad. And so far things have been working pretty well. We're just waiting for lovely old Logan Higney to get this thing going here. Maybe I could actually show you guys around the track. Let's try first person. Like I said, pretty long start straight into a pretty tight first corner area here. I'm just going to kind of cruise through this second corner here. Then you see guys going 2, 3, and then 2 into the corner. That is on a 250. And then if they can't 3 in here, they're going to have to double in. And then they'll double again over to right here and double up into the corner. Then the whoop section, which is quite honestly pretty small this week. So terrible in first person. Switch out of that. Small whoop section this week. And then this section is probably the trickiest. Like I said, come out of here, 3 into the rhythm, then off of this table onto this one, and then 3 up onto this table and jump to the inside of the corner. I made that look awful, but that's what they're doing. Then they would either go 2-3 or 3-2, like I said. Big old Supercross triple, you can lay it over for the crowd. You're not going to be right near the front row, but you can still do it for funsies. And these guys going 3 right here, and then a lot of them tripling to the inside, and then kind of hugging that inside corner so that they can double and land smoothly right here. Up over the finish line jump, It's a pretty busy track, to be honest with you. Lots of jumps, lots of 180 corners, so lots of opportunities for good passing. Like I said, this is going to be an interesting round, and it's the Triple Crown format. So let's talk about the qualifying times for just a second. So let me pull this bad boy to a stop. Talk about qualifying while these guys get it all set up here in Atlanta. Fastest qualifier tonight coming into the 450 class was the number 19 machine. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. It was actually the number 27 machine of Adam Holm, fastest qualifier at 55.554. Russ Chapman has been undefeated in every race he has raced in the North America Series thus far this year. At a 55.6, he was your second fastest qualifier. His teammate Jeremy Seabolt, third fastest at a 55.6 as well. Race Carlin, we haven't seen the general Race Carlin all year, I don't believe. Maybe he raced the first round, but that is career number 12. I believe Race Carlin coming out here tonight, making kind of a one-off appearance, and he qualified fourth fastest. This guy can ride. Has won main events before, I believe. He's definitely won outdoor nationals. And Colton Mitchell, second in the points entering tonight, 55.7 as well. He is your fifth fastest qualifier. Third in the points entering tonight, Jesse Mullins was sixth fastest also, but he did a 55.9, not a 55.7. The kind of big question mark about tonight is Alexis Leclerc, not your fastest qualifier. He kind of has been hovering around the top three of the fastest qualifiers week in and week out. 10th fastest tonight, though, a 56.1. So that is not going to be able to look too good for him, especially gate pick-wise going into that first main event. He is going to end up maybe more towards the middle or, if anything, really far on the inside. So we'll have to keep an eye out for your points leader, Leclerc. Remember, enters tonight 9 points up on Colton Mitchell in the championship after... They basically finished in reverse order last week. Jesse Mullins was your winner. He is third in the championship standings. He's 18 back of Leclerc. But his win last week pulled him 5 closer from the 23-point gap he had. And Colton Mitchell finished second last week. He's second in the points. Like I said, 9 points back. He was 11. And Alexis Leclerc ended up on the podium as well last week. So it's literally a reverse of your top three in points. So we'll see how that plays out tonight. Looks like they are getting things started. Talking about 250 East first real quick, though. Jack Haley, current points leader, fastest qualifier again, 56.4. Only runner in the 56 is actually a whole second faster than Matt Burkeen, number 8, at a 57.6. So 1.2 seconds better was Jack Haley than the nearest competition. That is remarkable. Then we got Chase Sissel at a 57.6 in third, Craig Richards at a 58.2 in fourth, and Phil Bull at a 58.2 as well, rounding out your top 5. So again, only 18 guys qualified in, and we should be loading up these last chance qualifiers. First up will be the 250 LCQ, which will go 4 minutes plus 1 lap, and your top 4 riders are going to transfer to the main event, and that is exactly what it looks like it is. These guys going out for a quick parade lap here. And there's a lot of names that do not want to be in this LCQ that are in this one tonight. Owen Hillman, Dylan Gatlin, David Wright, Tyler Morin, Nolan Creckley, Garrett Oliver, Adrian Wilson, James Cohen, Brett Powers, the Donut MX himself, Jake Fisher, Stephen Barrington, Dylan Copeland, Ethan Parks, Daniel Batchelett, Jeremy Henners, Garrett Hollenbeck, and Neil Wells, Derek Thorpe. I think I got just about everybody, but these guys are going to try to make it into the main event tonight, and it is going to be a tough battle for them as they're about to go 4 minutes in a lap for the first gate drop of the night, live here on SYS TV. Let's go racing in Atlanta. Good start for Hillman, maybe a better start for, no, it is Hillman sweeping from the outside, and contact, somebody ran wide on the inside. Couldn't see who that was, but it is Hillman on the 170 who gets the whole shot. And getting landed on in second was Creckley. He got landed on by Copeland, who somehow did not fall off the bike and is still getting hit in the middle of this rhythm section. Saw several riders going by there. Want to be top 4 out of this one, and these guys that are getting good starts early on is going to help. 4 minutes plus a lap to be able to make it in. Tyler Morin sits in second. Garrett Hollenbeck, Ethan Parks, That is your top 4, and they have gapped out a little bit already. Parks having a bit of an issue there. Oh, and Hollenbeck is up and down over the bars, and here comes, that's Garrett Oliver on the MV Films machine. He is going to jump his way into the final transfer spot. So Parks is in the final transfer spot. But he might just take that back away from Oliver. So Oliver now goes back to the final transfer spot. He's going to have to deal with a little bit of pressure from the 134. That is Dylan Gatlin bringing up the rear of this little pack. 5th spot right now, wants to find his way in. Oh, and that is Oliver, I believe. Oh, Hillman is down. So we got a big shakeup, actually. Oliver goes to the lead. Ethan Parks is now 2nd. Gatlin is 3rd, and Hinters is in 4th, with Copeland right on his tail here on the 67. Hinters getting a little out of shape in the whoops. Copeland down the inside is going to take that spot, but then he goes into the tough block, so they're going to go side by side through this rhythm section. Different lines, they're kind of checking each other there. And Hinters goes down, up and over the bars. I couldn't tell if somebody else went down. No, this is your top 4 now. They are all in the mix here. Gatlin almost gets into Parks. And tons of riders down in the background I just saw, but now that's Copeland just got around Gatlin, and Copeland has to check up here before the finish line jump to make the inside. So it's really spread apart now. These top 4 have a big old gap as Oliver coughs up the lead. Ethan Parks now goes to the front. Something's going to have to change inside of these top 4 for anybody to have a shot to get in, although someone on a Cowie there in the background just caught a flash room. He's actually kind of closing up on this group, and quickly. Gatlin made a little mistake there. That is Owen Hillman on the 170. He is getting to this group very fast. We are approaching the 3-minute mark already. Hillman swings way wide. Is he going to 3 in? Nope. Looks like he might be kind of biting his time here. But he can't give up too much time. Gatlin already on the back of Oliver again, trying to get through. So Gatlin is going to try to get his way forward and not be on the bubble spot here. But got to be a little careful when it comes to this to not get too greedy. Maybe go down as Copeland and Parks still battling over the lead. Copeland looking down the inside. Not quite able to make a move just yet as Parks shuts the door. And they both were tripling into this section. Now neither of them are. And that's going to allow Oliver to close up a little bit more as they've lost touch with Hillman just a little bit. And now I saw Copeland tripled in, but then he couldn't triple into the corner. So everybody's just kind of taking it easy here. Probably got 2 laps to go. In fact, we are on 2 laps to go right now. Copeland is just all over Ethan Parks, but none of these guys willing to make any desperate moves because they don't need to. Hillman, and I believe that's Hinters a little further back, kind of lurking. Just in case one of these guys slips up, they're there. But it is still Parks from Copeland, Oliver, and Gatlin. And they are coming to the white flag right now. These 4 guys looking to make it into the main event. So long as there's no crashing as... Oh, Copeland gets put to the deck by Oliver there. Aggressive move by Oliver, but I don't think he meant to actually make contact there. I think he just got to the inside and blocked the line, and then he almost went up and over the bars there. And now Copeland just made another small mistake coming into this corner. So he's got to be careful. He's going to 3 in here, but Hillman is coming. Could come down to these last couple corners, and it could even come down to cuts depending on who's gone off the track. You can see Hillman on the 170 there. He's creeping into your picture. Right there. So Gatlin's going to have some pressure, but Hillman makes a mistake. What does he do here? He quads. And then on-off into the corner, but another small mistake. Doesn't look like any of these guys are going to go down before the finish, so it's going to come down to a desperate pass by the looks of it. And Hillman is just not close enough, although Oliver just made a mistake. There's 2 guys down. One of them's off the bike as Hillman goes through, and the winner of the race is Oliver. Here comes Hinters right behind Parks into the final corner. And it's Parks that transfers. Hinters just outside looking in. Gatlin blows it. I'm not sure what happened, but he went down. And we'll wait on cuts to see there. Brett Powers is not going through, however. He is a little bit too far back to bank on cuts here, but he is going to finish 6th in this LCQ, so definitely was having a good ride, and if he went down in the first corner, that's a bummer. David Wright also going to miss out, as will James Cohen. Josh Betts, who was in the main event last week in Tampa. Bradley Schmidt. Saw Gatlin and his issues. Jake Fisher and Derek Thorpe. Caden Speck. Stephen Barrington. Nolan Keckley. Daniel Batchelot, Tyler Morin, Garrett Hollenbeck, Kyler Hockey, Neil Wells, Adrian Wilson. Lots of guys not making it through, so let's wait on the cuts here to see. And nope, nothing changes. In fact, your winner had cuts, but he did not lose the win. So Parks, Hillman, Copeland, and Oliver going through into the main events tonight. Of course, this is round number 2 of the Triple Crown. We will see 3 main events out of the 250 East class tonight. This is the first time all year that these guys have had to face this, unless they raced on the 450 on the opposite coast. So that is the 250 LCQ in the books. Coming up next, 450 last chance qualifier. And up until not too long ago, right before qualifying ended actually, it looked like Tyson Fresquez, your defending champion, might have ended up in this. He was 20th fastest, and right at the very tip end of qualifying, he dropped his time to a 57.2 to just sneak in 17th for Fresquez, so he is not in this one. But who should be in this one? Colby Eaglin, Josh Hamilton, Devin Ryan, Spencer Turley, Tyler Lewis, Jake West, Jacob Hubbard, Logan Leitzel, Dominic Tiberino, Tyler Schmidt, Brian Haskell, Cameron Lee, James Schuler. Did I time out? No, I didn't. Cool. So Tyler Schmidt, one of your former 250 East champions, lining up in this one. We got Sabrina Ritzler, Eduardo Simos, Logan Heagney, Jake Warden, Trevor Doiron, Tyler Fry, Dominic Saulnier, Brandon Hedge, Dakota French. It's going to be a stacked last chance qualifier, and these guys just about to set out for their parade lap. So Tyler Schmidt's usually known for getting his hole shots. We'll see if he's going to be able to get it with that inside line. As long as he doesn't cut the bails, he should be good to go. So this is just a warm-up lap. These guys, this is really more or less a lineup check so that they get an idea who is in and who is out, and if anybody needs to be put in. So that's why we do little warm-up laps for each race. It's just a little bit easier for these guys to get it all sorted out scripting-wise. And yeah, here we go. So here we go. 4 minutes plus a lap. 4 spots on the line for the main event. I want to latch on to Tyler Schmidt if I can because he's so good at starts, but I completely missed him. Where is he? Here he is. It is time to go racing. 450 LCQ. And the gate is down. And Schmidt gets a beautiful jump. A huge jump over everybody else. He's going to close it off and just beat Doiron to the corner. He gets tipped by Haskell. And then chaos ensues as Turley gets put to the deck by Devin Ryan. I think Schmidt just ran it a touch deep. And everybody kind of piled into him from the outside. And now he gets hit into the Davalos bales. And it's an absolute mess here in the first couple corners as Tyler Lewis with Colby Eaglin now goes to the front. So Eaglin on that 891 trying to get down the inside of Lewis. These are 2 guys that race the 250 West division, and they're trying to make it into this Triple Crown race here on the East Coast. And right now they are clear away from the rest of the field. Saulnier in 3rd, Hubbard is 4th. And I downloaded Hubbard stuff, so I don't know why I don't have it. Doiron, Leitzel, again, having some cheap Wi-Fi stuff going on. And then a bunch of guys down. This is Heagney. That is the 133. Well, Cameron Lee is down in this. There's a ton of people down coming out of this corner. And that is Lee and Heagney coming together right there. And Lee jumps to the inside of Haskell, puts him into the tough blocks. Oh, and Eagland is down in 2nd, so Lewis is clearing away out in front. Now Saulnier goes to 2nd, Hubbard goes to 3rd, and here comes Trevor Doiron, who surprisingly is still racing, was not protested by Dennis Fjellberg after his illegal track re-entry at Houston at Dallas a couple weeks ago. It was definitely bad enough to get suspended for a couple weeks, but he's still racing. He's going after Eagland here. Oh, and Eagland is down, so Doiron's going to get that last transfer spot. Now it is all down to Simos versus Doiron. Unless Eagland can get back up into this battle. He already got up in 6th, though. He's definitely still possibly in the mix. Nobody even really close behind that. Cameron Lee may be the next closest. So Lewis, Saulnier, Hubbard, for some reason, is okay now in front of Saulnier. Here comes Saulnier up the inside, though. He's going to get that pass back. So Saulnier gets back ahead of Hubbard. And here comes Doiron through the whoops. Simos is coming, though. Let's go on board with the Brazilian. Tricky little carrot jump on the end of that rhythm section. Look at Simos going 3-2 through this section. Not a lot of guys doing that. Of course, these LCQs, races are so short, we're not going to see too much of the track breaking down when it comes to terrain deformation, but we'll see it a little bit more when the main events get underway. Let's see, does Simos bide his time here? Oh, he gets the pass done anyway. Doiron goes down, he tips it down by himself in the final corner. And I just saw Tyler Schmidt was stuck backwards in the Davlos bales as Hubbard almost gets into Simos. Simos was 3-3ing his way through that rhythm section. Now he's going down the inside of Saulnier. He doesn't even need these spots, but he's getting them. And he goes through on Saulnier now. He's into the 2 spot. So Hubbard now to the final transfer spot, and Doiron, Eagland, maybe too far for Cameron Lee, but Doiron and Eagland definitely still within a shot here. And that was a lapped rider that was down. Couldn't see who that was. Doiron, he is off the bike. That might be the end of his chances as we are about to cross onto the white flag. Tyler Lewis with pressure from behind. Eduardo Simos, tries to throw it down the inside and loses the front wheel. Able to maintain second, though. So here's Hubbard, and now Eagland goes into that final transfer spot. So we lost Saulnier, and he is pretty far back here now. Gonna be an uphill battle to get to that spot, especially with Eagland riding as well as he is. Oh, Eagland into the bales. Gotta be careful there. Definitely not out of the woods yet. Keeps making little mistakes here and there. Saulnier just hoping to capitalize on it. Simos is still going after Lewis for the lead. Again, they don't need to pass each other. They're both comfortably in. And here we go into the final section. Lewis versus Simos to the line. It's going to go Lewis, Simos, Hubbard, and Eagland to the main. Saulnier just misses out. He'll be disappointed as he kind of blew that one. Leitzel is having some serious internet issues. Tyler Fry, Sabrina Ritzler. Doiron was a rage quit victim after that. Devin Ryan is upside down and all around here. James Schuler, Spencer Turley, Alex Carlo, Jake Warden, Josh Hamilton, Logan Heagney, Dakota French, Tyler Schmidt, Brian Haskell, Brandon Hedge, Jake West. All those guys are headed to the grandstands to grab some hot dogs. But Tyler Lewis, Eduardo Simos, Jacob Hubbard, and Colby Eagland will be joining the rest of the 18 guys already pre-seeded into the main event from qualifying. And to update you on those 18 guys pre-seeded in, talk about the 450 class first, since we just saw that LCQ. Adam Holm, Russ Chapman, Jeremy Siebold, Race Carlin, Colton Mitchell, Jesse Mullins, Bryce Whelan, Matthias Janis, Brady Stanley, Alexis Leclerc, Jeremy Cohenauer, Chase Blakely, Tony Spinelli, Jake Rose, Sean Klein, Zach Dupuis, Tyson Fresquez, and Reed Young. Those are the 18 guys seeded into the 450 class main event already. And coming along in the 250 class with the guys we just saw transfer out of the 250 last chance qualifier, it will be Jack Haley, Matt Burkeen, Chase DeSalle, Craig Richards, Phil Bull, Connor Holiak, your defending champion, Edward Mora, Noah Baker, Josh Williams, Thomas Sillick, Clay Alfrey, Devin Davis, Peter Like, Brian Mahan, Tyler Lang, Ivan Medina, Jack Zars, and Zach Prokop make up the runners in that 250 main event, which we will see coming up in just a quick second. Excuse me for a minute. And I've returned. Tyler Schmidt dropping by in chat right now saying he did that start for me. Well, Tyler, you gall darn took out Haskell in the first corner. If you did it for me, why'd you have to take my teammate out? All right. So any second now, we're going to get this 250 main event action underway. I'm just killing a little bit of time. Talking about the 450 point standings, I just saw someone ask that in chat. Alexis Leclerc comes into tonight as your points leader. 9 up on Colton Mitchell, who is second. And third in points, Jesse Mullins, last week's winner, is, another 9 back of Mitchell, so 18 back of Leclerc. And we got a pretty interesting 450 points battle shaping up between those three. Especially with Leclerc maybe not looking as on point tonight and did not win the first of the Triple Crown races, so maybe he wasn't as comfortable with this format. So we'll see how that works out for him and maybe how it works out for others, because Leclerc is usually pretty good at starts, so it could positively affect Leclerc tonight as well, championship-wise. Just want to remind everybody that these fabulous live streams on SYS TV this year are proudly presented by the guys at Versus PC. Just gonna weave through their tough blocks here while I talk about them. Yeah, they did a huge favor for me this year, came on board as a sponsor, really helping me out in this whole program, so I can't thank them enough, and they would definitely help you guys out. Any of you that are in need of either PC components or a whole PC build themselves, just go ahead and head over to versuspc.com. Try to contact John, tell them that I sent you from Start Your Systems, and they'll be able to help you out with anything that you need. Like I said, they have components, they have whole builds, they have advice if you need it. Guys at Versus PC are big help to us here on the broadcast. Can't thank them enough for coming on board and being the presenting sponsor this year. So please check them out. Trying to backflip and can't even do that. Transfer. There's not many big transfers on these tracks anymore, it seems. Gone are the days of cool Kevin Windham-esque transfer lines. Alright, finally, it might be time to go racing. You guys are killing me with this stuff. Got a pretty good viewership going tonight. Can't thank any of you guys enough for showing up to these broadcasts and making it all worth my while. It's really fun to actually broadcast to an audience. I know our YouTube audiences are very good, and I appreciate anybody that watches the playbacks on there as well, but A live audience is always just a little bit more special. Good interaction, all that business. People requesting I get drunk again on the streams. I don't know. I'm trying to keep it a little bit more professional this year. Last year, the last 3 nationals were a little bit off the chain. Please drink responsibly, children. All right. So I timed out. I'm going to need to reconnect. And thus I shall. All right, so here are all the 250 guys. This is just a parade lap, so Jack Haley, your current points leader, Mahan, Holiak, Bull, Medina, Williams, Mora, Zars, DeSalle, Copeland, Alfrey, Silic, Like, Oliver, Prokop, Davis, Parks, Richards, Baker, Burkeen, and Lang are the guys lining up in this one. Whew. All right, here we go. 6 minutes plus a lap, the first main event of the night. I'm excited, and I really hope you guys are too, because this is going to be some of the best racing you'll see all year long in these Triple Crown races. Not a lot of time for your championship contenders to get situated in these. It's going to be a mad dash for points, and it is all starting right here on SYS TV from Atlanta. Oh, Haley has a good start. Burkeen maybe a better one as he sweeps around the outside and goes off the track. So Haley unofficially gets the whole shot, and coming right with him is your defending champion Holiak, but he makes a mistake in the first section, and Haley has got a comfortable lead already. Boy, oh boy, Haley winning those first 2 rounds. You don't want to give him a lead early, and that's exactly what these guys did. The ever good teammates, Holiak's teammates, Williams and Mora, both coming through, so we've lost Holiak somewhere. Must have gone down in that second corner skirmish. If you remember a week ago in Tampa, it was Mora who led the race very late into the race, and unfortunately for him, coughed up a late race victory as him and Williams end up in a pile. That's a little team meeting, and then that was Richards going by on the 74 who just dragged him through, and now Williams gets into Lang, and Holiak is caught up, and there's 1,000 guys trying to get around them. Meanwhile, Haley, a minute into this thing, and he is already looking like he's on cruise control. Nearest person to him is Chase DeSalle, system decal. But DeSalle not really close enough to do anything about Haley right now, so nothing really going there. Behind that, fresh out of that last chance qualifier, is Copeland. And then Richards, whose skins I actually have this week. He is coming through currently right now in that 4 spot on the 74. Talked previously about Richards and how he's been a championship contender in this class before, so he certainly knows how to get it done. He's won races. He's taken championships down to the last race of the season. Maybe not what he once was, but he's still plenty fast to battle with these guys. Behind him, Prokop. And Parks just went off the track, so Burkeen and Phil Bull are trying to sneak by, but Burkeen is going to block past Bull back. Parks and Baker coming along. To get a little 4-rider train right here. This is your battle for 5th, I believe. Ooh, Parks and Phil Bull. A little bit of contact. Goodness, Josh Williams dead last. He was in 2nd 2 laps ago. Yeah, Burkeen riding strong, but I got to give it up to Phil Bull, who's looking like he's having a bit of a turnaround ride this week. Was not that good at the first 2 rounds. But this week seems to have that Team Volcom number 40 machine dialed in. And he is sticking with Burkeen so far. A couple different rhythm lines being used through there. Baker maybe looks like he was the fastest of the three, but he goes down coming into this little short rhythm in the back. So lost some time there. Let's head back up front and see that Haley has still got a nice comfortable lead. So really those battles back here were the closest ones. Behind that, Ryan Mahan has Ethan Parks right behind him, Thomas Silic, Jack Zars, Clay Alfrey, Ivan Medina, Devin Davis battling it out. A couple of semi-OGs in the community as Davis goes up and over the bars. Lang gets into him. Nobody seems to know he's down on the outside. Bad spotting going on. Holiak jumps into him. Strange that these guys all have so many teammates and nobody could let anybody know that Davis was down on the outside. We also have another rider down. That's Peter Like after the finish line jump. He was ahead of this whole group that's going back by. Here's Holiak and Mora, who nearly come together. Holiak just doesn't seem himself this year. He's definitely got the speed, but somehow, some way, he's lost his consistency in there, and again, going down up and over the berm. Davis front flips onto the start straight, but saves it. So it is Haley comfortably leading. How about this battle for your 4 spot right now between Richards and Burkeen? Burkeen's going to go for the 3-3, and he clips Richards, so Richards goes down. And going through was Phil Bull on the 40. Time already winding down. Burkeen, Baker going through, so Richards gets going back in the 7 spot now. Meanwhile, how about this battle? Jack Zars making the pass on Ethan Parks. Parks kind of made a mess of that rhythm section, so understandable. Alfrey, Medina, Mahan. Silic was down in the rhythm lane, so he's just getting going in front of Hillman here. Ivan Medina closing up on Alfrey. This, I believe, is for 10th. Couple guys that have been racing this series for quite a long time and are probably familiar with each other on some level. It's just good to see Alfrey back in general. Like I mentioned a few broadcasts ago, he was one of the fastest riders in this game not that long ago, and then took a fairly lengthy hiatus, more than a year from playing the game. Came back last year in the Nationals, showed up and did fairly well. Craig Richards looks like he's just getting up from a crash again. So, well, no. Phil Bull. And now Copeland battling it out. Although Bull makes a mistake, so Copeland got away. Let's kind of reset things here. It is Haley from DeSalle, Burkeen, Baker in 4th, Copeland in 5th, Bull in 6th, Richards now back to 7th, Zars 8th, Holiak a lap down, so Alfrey is 9th, and Medina, 10th. So it looks like your closest battle is between Zars and Richards here, up and over the finish line jump. And Holiak's got to be kicking himself after a good start to be going a lap down in this sprint version of the Triple Crown format. Main event number 1 in the 250 class winding down. It's going to be white flag next time by for your race leader, Haley. And so far, so good. White flag already in the air. Watching this battle with Richards as Zars is getting passed as Holiak is unlapping himself. And Zars unable to jump to the inside there, so Holiak going to let him back by. Oh, Zars almost up and over. Looks like the next closest battle might be Noah Baker versus Matt Burkeen here. I think this is for 3rd now. Ooh, Baker's a little bit lower, trying to pull up alongside into the corners. Slides it down. Burkeen gets the 3 in, and that's probably going to secure him this spot. DeSalle all alone in 2nd, but meanwhile up front, continuing his hot streak. Main event number 1 goes to Jack Haley. Big victory followed by a big front flip. Double front. Almost. Chase DeSalle quietly in second here. Didn't talk about him a whole lot, but still a very solid ride for him. Second place is a good way to start this night because it's all about your overall score at the end of the night, Olympic-style scoring. So Alfrey with a second. Burkeen, he's going to pick up a third, so that helps him out. Baker fourth. Copeland fifth. Richards is going to get sixth as they're lapping Williams there. Zars here in seventh. Phil Bull in eighth. Clay Alfrey coming across, he's going to get ninth. And Medina lap down in 10th. Davis, Silic, Mahan, Oliver, Parks, Hillman, Mora, Lang, Like, Williams, Holiak 21st. And Prokop a DNF in this one. And, Burkeen got docked a position there on cuts. 3.5 seconds nearly of cuts for Burkeen. So Baker ends up on the podium out of this one. Interesting little change of events there. We'll see if that comes back to bite the number 8 machine of Matt Burkeen later on in the evening. Want to take this quick moment to remind everybody that MotoOption Clothing has been title sponsor of this series for the past 7 years. They do a lot of awesome stuff when it comes to clothing, but they've also got graphics for your motorcycle or for your accessories, cell phones, etc. They have a general large supply of accessories as well. They got belts, they got wallets, they have phone cases. Their apparel line is obviously tip top. And MotoOption has been an amazing sponsor to MX Simulator through the years. So definitely check them out. MotoOption Clothing. Title sponsor of the series for the 7th year running. And it's crazy to think that I've been playing this game for that long. Boy, where have the years gone? Alrighty. So, coming up now is going to be the 450 main event number 1. Again, this is just a parade lap for these guys, but they will be going 8 minutes plus 1 lap. So here we go. 8 minutes plus 1 lap. The first main event for the 450 class. Your fastest qualifier in this one, Adam Holm, has about 3rd gate pick there on the inside, and he's using the Leclerc technique, as are a lot of other people. They're fed up with Leclerc, and Leclerc's fed up with it. So this should be a dramatic first main event as the gate is down in Atlanta, and good starts across the board. Leclerc has the best drive into the corner. He's going to get everybody kind of shut off there, and he will get the whole shot. Into the second corner, Mullins cuts across, and he jumps off the track. Oh, he's got to be furious with himself there, as he had a spot there on Leclerc, but Leclerc is still going to get the whole shot and lead this thing early. Mitchell is in second, though, so keep an eye on Mitchell. Second in the championship entering, wants to claw into Leclerc's points lead again, and he's in a good spot here with 3 of the ART Racecraft decal teammates all right up here at the front. The 29 machine of Chapman and the 19 of Seabolt right behind their theoretical team leader in this 450 class, Colton Mitchell, who is second in the points, and he is already trying to latch onto Leclerc for the lead. So it's Leclerc, Mitchell, Chapman, Seabolt, top 4, lap number 1 in the books. Man, oh man, Chapman looks like he might be a little bit faster right now than Mitchell. We'll go on board with him. You can hear Seabolt closing in from behind. We'll actually go on board with Seabolt because you can see all of these guys right in front of him. So Seabolt Defending two-time 250 West Supercross champion Chapman currently leading the 250 West Supercross championship, undefeated in that series. Oh man, Chapman had an inside look there on Mitchell, and I want to take a look at Mitchell and Leclerc. Look at this train of 4 riders. It is so close. Chapman scrubs down the triple. He keeps it closer. Look at Chapman, inside move. Does he get his teammate? Not quite. Up and over the finish line. It is still Leclerc, Mitchell, Chapman, and Siebel. This is a great little 4-pack here at the front. And Leclerc is trying to sprint away, but these guys just seem to be going a touch faster as Chapman, he jumps off the track, and he goes down. Oh, he had so much speed. Just kept carrying him over, so now Siebel moves into the 3 spot. It really looks like it's down between these two up front at the moment, though. Mitchell versus Leclerc, your 2 championship leaders. Mullins had the start. He was going to be right there, but he jumped off the track early, and it changed the whole complexion of the race as Mitchell slides it down, and it's going to be down to Siebold now to run down Leclerc. So one by one, the ART Racecraft Decal Kawasaki riders are going down, and it's just the next one in line. Who is going to take Leclerc up front? We'll come back to this battle in just a minute. We'll slide backwards. We saw Carlin. He's up in the 4th spot. Here's Matthias Janis in 5th. Chase Blakely, your fastest qualifier. Adam Holm with Sean Klein right behind him. Chapman went all the way back here. He is in 9th, I think. Yeah, 9th. Mullins, 10th. So a 2nd place start, jumps right off the track at the beginning. He's got to be kicking himself right now. He's got Zach Dupuis right behind him. Bryce Whelan, Brady Stanley, Tyler Lewis just getting deeper and deeper in the field here. So keep an eye up front. Mitchell didn't lose a ton of time with that crash, but you can't give Leclerc these opportunities. Definitely seems like Siebold and Mitchell are going faster. Chapman is definitely going faster than these guys. But I think Siebold and Mitchell are both going faster than Leclerc. That is Fresquez on the inside of that corner getting lapped. So your defending champion is really just slowly working his way out of mathematical chance to win this championship this year. I think the ART Racecraft guys are using throwbacks again as Siebold goes to the lead. Leclerc dumped it all by himself out front, and now Mitchell was trying to get him as well and unable to do so. So Leclerc must have lost the front end, not too sure, but it looks like these guys are in the exact same spot they were 2 laps ago. Mitchell going to try an inside move, staying a little bit lower, and he's going to go on off into this corner to the inside of Leclerc and takes him down. Leclerc off the bike. There's Carlin, who was in 4th, getting into the back of him, and here comes Janis. And Janis is going to try to, well, I thought he was going to triple to the inside of Leclerc. What did I say? These guys are fed up with Leclerc and his antics. Going on and on and on about the starting technique, how he smashes into the gate to decompress his suspension so that he can then recompress it as deep as he needs to get a better start. And now all these guys we saw at the start of the main event, a lot of them doing it. The technique was somewhat deemed illegal. Oh my gosh, what a save by Mitchell. But the problem is that you're not allowed to back up from your gate position so long as you return to your original spot. Leclerc, obviously pulling forward, smashes into his gate, but he does return to his normal location. So it is technically a legal start, but they did, a couple years ago, work on trying to eliminate that whole compressing of the suspension thing. You remember back to 2014, Alexis Leclerc actually got the entire game of MX Simulator changed forever by what he used to do is he would start the race on a different setup and then use hotkeys to tab out of his game and load a new setup in midair on a Supercross triple on the first lap of the race. That would be his race setup. So he'd have a whole shot and then a race setup, and he would just be able to hotkey and change setups midair off of the first jump. It was very noticeable. A lot of people saw him doing it. So JLV, in order to fix that from happening, made it so you had to be completely stopped for 2 entire seconds to be able to change your settings in game. And that eliminated Leclerc from being able to do that for the time being, but he is still doing some weird things that people aren't too thrilled with. It's caused a big bit of drama on the forums the last couple weeks. And like I said, I think these guys might just about be fed up with it. Meanwhile, battle for the lead is slowly brewing. Oh, Mitchell almost jumps into Kohenauer. He's going to lose some time on Seabolt there. About Carlin with Blakely. Blakely actually has an inside move here. Does he try it? No, that's to tuck in behind. It's a good battle for third between two guys that are looking to maybe turn their season around, although Carlin hasn't raced all year, so he's really just hoping to have a good ride. But Blakely up and down year so far. Probably not what he was hoping to get. So Blakely is still trying to stalk the rear tire here of Carlin. Nothing doing just yet, but they did both get around Alexis Leclerc, which Blakely had not previously. Keep an eye on Matthias Janis and Adam Holm coming up. These are two guys that both put in pretty good times. They were both a little bit faster in qualifying than Leclerc. Although we are 2 laps away from the end of this thing, so not much time left for these guys. You can see that rut already developing there in that first corner. Couple of ruts, honestly. Oh, and Carlin has dumped it from 4th. So that allows Blakely to have the spot all to himself. Meanwhile, Leclerc is trying to sneak back into this battle. He's lapping Dupuis and Simos, and 35 I think is Lewis right there. Lots and lots of lap traffic in the mix as Leclerc makes a big bobble. White flag already in the air though for your race leader, Jeremy Seabolt. So Leclerc gets around Lewis. And Blakely getting back on the track from a crash is going to get past. Oh, Lewis almost into Blakely. And then almost into Leclerc. And you can see Matthias Janis on the 41 sneaking into the background there. So Leclerc has moved his way back into 3rd temporarily. Just trying to keep his score as low as possible. Olympic style scoring, all 3 main events tallied up together to get you your final event score. And right now, Jeremy Seabolt is going to leave race number 1 with a big old 1 on his score. Main event number 1, Jeremy Seabolt is your winner in the 450 class. Colton Mitchell is going to pick up a 2nd, so it's going to help his case a little bit when it comes to beating Leclerc points-wise tonight. Leclerc will finish 3rd. Yeah, Blakely not able to get there in time. 1.8 back. Holm, steady rise through the field, gets 5th ahead of Janis, who's 6th. Sean Klein here in 7th. Mullins is going to pick up an 8th. Carlin from 3rd all the way back to 9th. And Simos is right there to the line. Carlin hits the pole, so Simos goes over. Actually, he's going to get 9th anyway because Simos was a lap down. So Stanley 10th. And final lead lap rider here is Tony Spinelli. And Spinelli's going to pick up 11th. So cuts are in. Nothing changed inside of the top 10. All right, so main event number 2 in the 250 East Division will be coming up next. This one is going to go 10 minutes and a lap. Had a brain fart there for a second. 10 minutes and a lap. So a little bit longer. Want to remind everyone real quick here that the presenting sponsor of this series is Racetech Suspension. Racetech, the science of suspension. Been helping out MX Simulator for several years. And they do suspension, they do engines. Based out of Corona, California. I've been there a few times. All the guys there are really nice, really awesome people. And they've been helping out SYS for a few years as well, so I definitely recommend checking them out. Need a suspension rebuild or just a general revalve? Need your oil changed? Need some engine work done? Anything along those lines, Racetech will help you out. Racetech.com. Did I time out again? Yes, I did. Doot, 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 doot. Main event number 2 of the 250 East region here in the Triple Crown. These guys are on their parade lap. I feel like just saw these guys. We saw Haley win that first one. Richards was coming out of that one in the 7 ride, I believe, in the first one. Zars was 6th. Davis 11th. Oliver somewhere in there. Holiak, I think, was a lap down. All right, here we go. Main event number 2. On the line, the board is sideways. The gate will drop any minute, and we are set to go in Atlanta as the gate is down. Noah Baker got a good start. It is Zars coming into turn 1. He gets clipped from behind by Burkeen, and it's Williams with the hole shot. So Williams was 2nd on the first lap last time through. This time he is going to actually lead here on the opening lap. He got a good first couple rhythms there. Opened up a nice gap on Mahan, who just got blocked past by Zars. Mora is up there in the mix as well. So a couple of faces that had some rough first races as Mora goes down. DeSalle goes through, so DeSalle may be the highest placed early on of the guys that had good races in the first one. Copeland, Bull, Richards, all in the mix right here. Oof. Chaotic little mess right here, honestly. These guys all kind of taking different rhythm lines as Phil Bull gets nudged by, that wasn't Lang, not sure who that was. So over the line to complete lap number 1. And it is Williams with a big old lead. Mahan just got passed by Zars. Front end lock takes him down. And guys coming over that first section, Richards couldn't see him and plows right over him. Laying down the inside, Davis going through. Oh, Copeland got crap end of the stick there too as he went down. There is your points leader, Haley coming through for the first time. And Haley gets landed on by Richards and he's down. And Copeland piles into him. See if anybody else goes by Richards. There goes Connor Holiak, I believe. And, oh, Haley off the bike again, got into the back of Ethan Parks. I saw Burkeen in there. A couple other riders going through. That is absolutely chaotic, as it now looks like Haley's going to be nearly dead last as Williams continues to lead on to lap number 2, or lap number 3, I should say, completion of lap number 2. It's an ever good 1-2 at the moment. Edward Morris sits in the 2nd spot. Zars, DeSalle, battling it out over 3rd right now, and Zars is going to say, go ahead and take it. Not wanting to get in a fight there, although DeSalle was having some sort of weird problem there. Still having some sort of weird problem. I don't know why the timing gates aren't picking him up right now. Yeah, DeSalle is completely and utterly lagged behind. I'm not sure if he's like really badly lagging or something, but where the timing gates are supposed to pick up the rider going through camera-wise, like it shows Zars. It shows a couple people in front of DeSalle. But now DeSalle has moved into the 2 spot. Carlo jumping to the inside. DeSalle crosses back over, so now Zars is trying to find his way through. As DeSalle, there's contact. Lang almost down the inside of Zars. Then Phil Bull on the 40. Zars inside, gets around DeSalle. For the time being, now we're 3-4 wide over the finish almost. And DeSalle holds that spot. Zars is just trying, excuse me, not to get into him. Lang, Bull, both going down the inside, not able to do the big 3-3 line out of the corner then. And that was Mora, I believe, that was backwards. Now Zars goes down. So Bull goes through, Lang. As I run, DeSalle is in a prime spot to win this whole event. Sitting on 2-2 scores and nobody even close to him really with comparable scores. Maybe Bull, but I think Bull went 6th in the first one, so 6-4 potentially right now for Phil Bull. Oh, but he's into Lang and down, so Devin Davis is going to go through. Devin Davis quietly having a good ride here in the second main. Rocking the all teal gear there. Is it teal? I don't know, would you call that like teal or like cyan? What did he just hit? He just went down after the finish line, and he is still down there. He just got going. So not too sure what happened to Davis there. Maybe OJ'd the finish and had a fall-off crash. Either way, that allowed Mora and Bull back through. But it is still Williams leading this thing. And I wanted to do a run through the field, but I just couldn't quite get it, so do it now. There goes DeSalle in second, Lang in third. Here comes Mora in fourth, and Bull in fifth. Davis on the 15 is in sixth. Well, now he's going down, so that's going to change. Sixth place is going to go to Mahan here on the 80. Seventh, Zars. Eighth, Noah Baker. Now ninth for Devin Davis. 10th for Oliver, 11th for Medina, 12th for Like, 13th for Burkeen, 14th for someone else, Holiak 15th, Owen Hillman 16th, Haley 17th, Copeland 18th, Craig Richards is 19th, the 42, not sure, is 20th, and then 21st, Ethan Parks. So we're either missing 22nd from this race as he did not start, or he is coming soon. Nope. But here is your race leader, Josh Williams. And he was being pressured by DeSalle, but then DeSalle goes down, so now Lang is trying to get into this battle, although he's slipping and sliding off the side of the track. Mora behind that, and then Zars coming across the inside of Baker. Close battle between these two here. And Baker's going to take that spot. So Baker back around Zars. So it is Baker, Zars, Mahan, Bull, all mixed together here. I believe this is over the 5 spot right now. Let's go on board with Zars here for a second. Oh, that was quick. Got back by for 5th. Now he's going to have to go after Lang. Oh, battle for the lead. DeSalle versus Williams. DeSalle can really solidify himself as a big possibility of winning this event tonight if he can come around here and take this spot away from Williams. Down the inside. Oh, and there's contact. Don't think he meant to take Williams out. He just lost the front end on the inside of the corner, and Williams goes down. So Williams gonna have to regroup. It is DeSalle leading from Williams, Mora, Lang, Zars, Mahan, Bull, Baker, Burkeen, Silic, Davis. I'm gonna go on board with Haley here. Your points leader and main event #1 winner is running out of time to get stuff done here. He's trying to pass Devin Davis on the 15, and he's gonna get it as Davis goes down. Haley has to jump some tough blocks. So let's see what he's able to do on this lap, trying to carve his way forward. He's gonna get 3 here, 3 into the corner. That is Phil Bull getting up from a crash ahead of him. Jumps to the inside of Bull and gets that spot, so he's up to 10th. And Bull not going down there. That was a real close quarters between those two. So Haley just trying to do the best he can to get through this field here. Just riding smooth. That's all he knows how to do. He's so good at it. Just smooth, consistent laps. Already gapping a little bit on Phil Bull. Let's see what this lap time will be coming through. 59.9, so just right in that same wheelhouse. 59.9, 59.8. He's trying to run down Thomas Sillick. And he's actually going to get that spot. Yes, he will, as Sillick went down. But Haley unable to do the line he wanted to do, so Sillick going to close back in, but Haley hangs on. Ahead of that, Mahan has Burkeen right in front of him. Mahan using the wrong number there. Should be number 37. Instead, he's running number 80. Small mistake for Burkeen, but he might survive this attack for the time being. Mahan is certainly closer now. Up and over the finish line jump. Nothing doing between these two. Ahead of them is Zars, who is right behind Tyler Lang. But Lang is in the midst of absolute chaos. He's trying to lap his teammate Garrett Oliver while trying to get to Noah Baker at the same time. And Zars is suddenly all over him. His whoops are getting cupped out a little bit more. We'll go back on board here with Zars for a moment. Battle for 5th on screen. Zars cases both of those tabletops, thinks better of his next move, and goes on off into the corner. Lost a big old chunk of time there. He's trying to lap Dylan Copeland here. And Noah Baker and Tyler Lang just swapped positions right in front of that. So here's Baker and Lang coming up over the finish line jump. Side by side nearly. Both swing to the outside to get the drive back down the straightaway. Great onboard action here in Atlanta. Oh, Baker gets the 3. Goes for the 3 into the corner and gets that too. Bold, but it pays off. And Zars must have also gotten it as he got around Lang momentarily. But Lang is able to get that one back. Meanwhile, up front, DeSalle is cruising this thing home. White flag already is waved. Into the final corner he comes. Second in the first main event, and main event number 2 is a win for Chase DeSalle on the 38 machine. Edward Mora is going to hang on here for second. Noah Baker will come across third. Lang and Zars into the final corner. And it is Lang. I don't know how Zars didn't get front end locked there. Josh Williams led a lot of this race. He's upside down, and here comes Haley. What has Haley got into the final section? Off the track, and loses a spot because of it. He got greedy. Not going to be too thrilled with that. He ends up 8th as Mahan squeaked by. Richards 9th. Phil Bull is mixed together with a couple guys. Alfrey to the line, side by side, and Alfrey gets that spot. Burkeen ahead of Sillick, Holiak, Like, Parks, Oliver, Hillman, Copeland, Medina, Davis. Wow, Davis. DNF in that one. No good for Devin Davis. 21 guys started that one, and Davis, excuse me, only one that not finish that one. All right, 250 main event number 2 is in the books. It looks like it is all chase to sell. 2-1 on the night so far. We'll see what he's able to do in that third main event. But coming up next is main event number 2 for the 450 class. And this one goes 12 minutes plus 1 lap. So a little bit of a longer race. The track's going to wear in a little bit more. We'll see how these guys are able to attack this, what they're able to do. Remember the first race? Just a quick flashback for you all. It was Seabolt who won the first one, ahead of his teammate Colton Mitchell. Alexis Leclerc able to bring it home in third. Third in points entering the night. Jesse Mullins got a second place start, but drifted off the track, ended up losing a ton of positions, was able to climb his way back up to 8th in the short 8-minute plus 1 lap main event. So he'll be looking to turn it around in this second main event if he can. Even with a super duper computer, I still have issues with timing out. So those guys have just finished up their quick little parade lap, and it is time to go racing in this 450 main event number 2. Should be a good one. We're going to watch Adam Holm on the inside again. It was all Leclerc on the first start, but he's way down the inside, so he's going to need a big jump as the board is sideways. When we are underway here, main event number 2 in Atlanta, Leclerc has a good start, but he's into the tough blocks. And it's a little bit of a crunch up in the first corner. A couple guys going down. Mullins, I think, unofficially got the whole shot, but it's going to go to Stanley early on. And now Mullins. Oh, Mitchell into Stanley, and Mullins gets front end lock coming out of the corner. I see Leclerc is down in the middle of this one as well as he tries to squeak on through. There are so many riders mixed together as Leclerc puts Tyler Lewis, I believe, on the ground, causes a huge pile up in the next corner. Man, oh man, this is a chaotic start to the race that is now being led by Colton Mitchell. Main event 1 winner Seabolt sits second. Chapman is in third. It's an ART Racecraft 1, 2, 3 as Mullins sits in the 4 ride early on. So whole shot, and fortunately the front end lock crash didn't affect him too badly. And between him and Leclerc is Kohenauer. And this might be the most lethal battle brewing on track at the moment. Leclerc and Mullins, a very strong dislike of each other. They were going at each other's throats on the forums earlier this week. Supposedly, someone dropped by in chat earlier tonight saying that Mullins on his stream was figuring out a way that he can take out Leclerc. And Leclerc, if he gets to Mullins, there might be some fireworks. This is going to be a good one to watch as this one gets a little bit deeper. Owen Mitchell is down with Chapman. I don't know what the heck just happened right there. He's just getting going. What in the world? So Mitchell now ends up behind Leclerc. Not what he wanted at all. Leclerc nearly just got passed by Race Carlin. Something about Leclerc just doesn't seem like he's as comfortable on this track tonight. As now Chapman is also in front of him. Right there. Up and over the finish line jump. Carlin trying to keep close tabs on Leclerc. Leclerc trying to chase down Chapman, who in turn has Kohenauer right in front of him. I think Chapman's going to want to make quick work of Kohenauer. Chapman had alluded in the chat how he was thinking he could win that first main event, but he just got hung up in a couple situations there with his teammate Colton Mitchell. Again, they end up on the ground together early, but he's still in a position where he could win this thing. He's going to try to get around Kohenauer quick, though. Meanwhile, Siebold is off to the races once again, leading this thing. And it is tight racing behind this. Chapman looking for a couple different lines to take to get around Kohenauer. He's going to squeak inside, pull alongside, and down the inside into the next corner. Gets the pass done. Kohenauer squares it up and is going to try to swing around the outside. Now cuts back inside, but then just funnels into line. So now Kohenauer is going to have to deal with Leclerc, who's sending it in. Was a little bit sideways there in the background. So somewhere we lost Mullins as well. Not sure what happened. Carlin is still right there, lurking if something happens with Leclerc, Kohenauer, or Chapman right in front of him. Nobody touching Siebold up front, though. Keeping an eye, Colton Mitchell is in, well, Fresquez is in 8th. Mitchell 9th. So as they run, Leclerc actually has better scores than Mitchell. 2.9 is 11 points. Leclerc on a 3.4 is 7. Although, big mistake for Chapman. That allows Leclerc into the 3 spot, and he is all over Kohenauer. He's going to be looking for a way through here soon. The man that never sits, Alexis Leclerc. Standing up all the way through his corners. Down the inside, going to 3 into the section. And still try to get the... Oh, he's down! He tried to go for the table online. Off the bike crash, so I saw Chapman went through. And Carlin went through. That is Mahan going through. Or no, that's Simos, excuse me. Mahan got me all thrown off, and now Simos goes down. Oh, man. Leclerc might be mad at himself at that one. Kind of going full send there for a second. So now we see that Mitchell not too much farther behind Leclerc. Mullins not too much farther behind Mitchell. Between them is today's fastest qualifier, Adam Holm on the 27. Go on board with Mullins for a second. 58.1 last time by. He's lurking on the back of Holm here. Let's see what he can do lap time wise. Just creeping towards the halfway point of this race. Ooh, cases the triple in. Big swap. Able to ride out of it, and Holm ended up going down in the corner ahead, so now they really end up just in the same spot they were, except somebody is right behind Mullins now. Quick peek, and it is Janis. Matthias Janis right there behind Mullins. Mullins going to go 3 in, get onto the table, off, and then 3 onto the table into the corner. Has to step off, and there's Janis peeking up on the inside of Adam Holm. Holm crosses over, Janis gives him a nudge, takes the spot. So for the time being, those positions have switched. Oh, Race Carlin is down in between the jumps. So Leclerc's going to go back through. Here comes Simos right behind him coming into the corner. So resetting things here for just a second, it is Siebold leading from Kohenauer. And I want to do a quick lap through the field again. We got Siebold leading from Kohenauer. There's Blakely in 3rd. Here is your points leader, Leclerc. He sits in 4th. 5th is Race Carlin. 6th, Russ Chapman. 7th, Simos. 8th, Mitchell. 9th, Eagland, maybe? Mullins 10th, Holm 11th. No, I'm sorry, Mullins 9th, Holm 10th. Fresquez, who just went by on that KTM, is 11th. Here's Hubbard in 12th, Stanley 13th. Bryce Whelan is 14th. Matthias Janis is 15th. Sean Klein is 16th. Zach Dupuis coming through right here is 17th. And then your race leader, Jeremy Siebold, So that's been a lap through the field, brought to you by the fine folks at Versus PC versus Performance Computing. Get your PC in gear. Ooh, Blakely dumps it from third. So there goes Leclerc back through. And that was Race Carlin on the 12 that also went by. So Blakely now slides back into the 6th spot. Meanwhile, Simos is under attack. The number 6 of Colton Mitchell is trying to go forward. He wants to keep this thing close between him and Leclerc. Any points he can gain on the night is useful. And it's your overall score at the end of the night. So talking about it again, Mitchell looking at a 2-6 right now would be on 8 points, but Leclerc on a 3-3 would be on 6 points. Of course, nobody touching Seabolt currently. Seabolt looking at a 1-1 for 2 points. So Blakely, Carlin, Mitchell all kind of grouped up right here going through the sweeper. Different ways to enter the section, but they all end up doing the same line. Mitchell looks the most comfortable in that section. Trying to find a line through on Carlin now. Up and over the finish line again, 9 minutes in to this 12-minute plus 1 lap affair. Mitchell really wants to get through these two guys because that not only puts him 1 spot behind Leclerc once he does. He's trying really hard. He's working on Carlin here. Just can't quite seem to get a leg up. Through the whoops, down the inside. Oh, contact. Carlin was just going for his normal line, but Mitchell was already committed to that inside, and now they're going to check each other in the rhythm, and Carlin is going to get back by. That's got to be frustrating for Mitchell, who thought he had the pass and then made a mistake, and now they're right back on Blakely again, and Lewis down in the corners, so Mitchell wisely checks up and doesn't get caught up in any of that mess, gets around Blakely. Now he's got to get around Carlin. Ahead of them, Leclerc just lapped Tony Spinelli. And there's a ton of guys down. That's Whelan and Dupuis. Eaglin to lap down. Cohenauer's just cruising in second, but it's still Seabolt leading this thing, approaching 10.5 minutes in. So Mitchell's still working on Carlin. Thought he had him a lap ago. The contact, not ideal, but something he felt maybe was necessary, and now he's down, trying to triple into the corner here. Clipped a tough block, and that allows Blakely back through. That was Lewis, who's a lap down going back by, and any chance Mitchell had of catching Leclerc in this race is pretty much all but gone. Now it's just going to be trying to salvage. Just needs to beat Leclerc on overall points tonight to actually gain points in this championship. So Blakely lapping Spinelli as well. Well, Leclerc having a little bit of a hiccup there in the final corner. Really good steady race out of the 30 machine of Jeremy Cohenauer. I haven't talked about him much because he's been kind of all alone most of this race, but had some early pressure there. Leclerc mixed in with a couple other guys. They all kind of fell and dropped off, and Cohenauer stayed steady right in this spot, just clicking off lap after lap, doing his lines, hitting his marks, and he's going to take the lead as Seabolt was down. Completely oblivious to me. I saw a green bike. I'm like, who the heck is that? But it is your race leader or former race leader in that Seabolt who coughs up the lead. And these guys are just barely going to get back to the line. 11:50 right now. 8 seconds remaining on the clock as they cross the line. So it's 2 laps to go. As time has now expired right now. 2 laps to go. White flag will be out next time by, and Cohenauer's looking to maybe pick up a win in this thing. Seabolt has really kind of coughed this one away. He just slid out all by himself on the start straight. Last thing he wants to do is give up another spot to Leclerc. So you might want to try to regroup a little bit here. obviously wants to go back after Kohenauer, who just made a mistake. So Kohenauer is going to leave himself wide open here through this rhythm section. Big problems for Kohenauer, and he continues to make mistakes, and that allowed Siebold to close right back in. Thought better of an inside move there. White flag coming out next time by. And the battle for the win is on here in main event number 2 of the Triple Crown at Atlanta. Oh, and Siebold dumps it by himself, and that is going to give Leclerc the 2 spot. Siebold is just getting going right now, so he might... Well, no, he's lost a big chunk of time. I was going to say he might still have a shot to stick with Leclerc. Man, oh man, Kohenauer, ever the steady rider, known for being consistent, not known for his speed, and that usually means that he doesn't hold on for race victories. I don't believe he's ever won a 450 national or main event before, but he's going to win a main event here. It won't count for points necessarily. It'll just help his overall tally. Just trying to make it through these last couple sections. You can see he's even taking it pretty easy. Not wanting to force the issue. He's got the win in hand. And big gap behind him, about 4.5 to Leclerc. So he's going to bring this thing down coming into the final corner. And who'da thunk it? Main event number 2 tonight in Atlanta goes to Jeremy Kohenauer as he takes the victory. Nice job. And something happened to Leclerc. Siebold went through, Blakely went through, and Mitchell went through. Leclerc is still down, and Carlin gets him. And they're going to come to the line nearly side by side. Oh, and Leclerc lands on Carlin, jumps off the track. So Leclerc lands on Carlin and survives. Carlin is going to get 6th, but Mitchell got Leclerc right there at the end. I'm not too sure what happened to Leclerc. He was down after the Supercross triple, so my only thought is that he came up short on it, but I wasn't sure if he was with people because he might have gotten cross-jumped. Mullins comes across in 8th, so a couple 8s for Mullins puts him at a 16 going into the last race. That is not necessarily what he was hoping for, especially with Leclerc now sitting on 8 and Mitchell sitting on 6. And yeah, Leclerc, a couple cuts. That's Blakely with some cuts. Nothing really changed inside of the top 10. Yeah, nothing changed overall, actually. Wow, oh wow. So Kohenauer, Siebold ends up 2nd, Blakely 3rd, Mitchell 4th. So Mitchell could still be alive for the win here tonight. He's on 6 to Siebold's 3. Woo. So that was a entertaining second 450 main event, and hopefully we'll bring you an entertaining final 250 main event coming up here in just a minute. These guys are about to go 12 minutes plus 1 lap, so it's the longest main they'll do all night long. And we're just waiting to load in. So while we're waiting to load in, I'll go ahead and give a quick shout out to another sponsor, the Squid Squad crew coming on board. Those are those beautiful yellow tough blocks at the bottom of your screen here. They are another clothing apparel, like funny saying brand, if you will. It's a former pro motocrosser who designs all this stuff. Or maybe he actually is a pro motocrosser. I don't know why I said former, but a pro motocrosser. I forget his name, but he designs all this stuff. And some cool stuff. They're little funny sayings on t-shirts and coffee mugs and all that different stuff. Are we waiting on someone? Oh yeah, there we go. All right, so here we go. We're already loaded in to the final 250 main event of the night. 12 minutes plus 1 lap. It is all on the line. The points are up for grabs, and we are set to go for the final race in Atlanta. Burkeen, Haley, they were on the inside on the right-hand side of your screen, and it looks like they got together. So it's Chase to sell. who sits on 2-1 scores, entering this one. Looking like he is going to stay in a pretty good position to win this event tonight with an early race lead over Josh Williams. Phil Bull trying to get down the inside. Nice save in the whoops. Burkeen, like I said, got together with Haley going to the first corner, but escapes with Richards right behind him. Noah Baker, Ethan Parks, Tyler Lang, Owen Hillman, Jack Haley. Oh, and there's a stack up. That is Richards getting together with Baker, and Haley almost went up and over the bars on the left-hand side of your screen. Look at all of this chaos going on in the mix here. I mean, let's just go on board with Copeland for a second so we can see all this. Oh, man, and as I say that, he gets into a rider that was down. Someone else ahead of this still in the mix. Haley ended up 4th after all that. That's amazing. So DeSalle still leads, but Williams is honestly right behind him. And this race being a little bit longer, see if DeSalle is able to hold up to the pressure. Ooh, nice little cheeky inside double there. Williams looks like he has the speed, but he just keeps making little mistakes like that. Over jumped right there. DeSalle able to get away a little bit now. You know what? Here comes Burkeen into the mix. Burkeen with a very cautious riding style. He sits down in a lot of places. He's sitting down everywhere right now. He hasn't stood up once in this sequence. Meanwhile, we see Leclerc stands literally everywhere. Burkeen has been sitting this whole time we've watched him. Let's see if he stands up in this section to seat bounce. Yes, he does. But then goes back to sitting down all the way through jumping that. Very unrealistic what he's doing, but it works for him because it holds the bike a little bit more stable. Sat down all the way through there, has to stand up in the whoops, obviously. And then right back to sitting down. It's unorthodox, but it's worked for him. Your 2016 250 outdoor champion. So Burkeen trying to keep close tabs here on Williams. Meanwhile, DeSalle is all alone up front now. Mora and Haley. So actually Haley dropped a spot behind Mora. Not too sure what happened there. How about this mix-up right here? Let's go on board with Ethan Parks as he's got Ivan Medina. Oh, that is Garrett Oliver getting into somebody, and Parks gets into him, and front end lock comes shining on through there. Ooh, Medina almost cut down on Parks. That is Devin Davis with Jack Zars. Look at this train. The very back of it is Holiak, 16th, and the very front of it is 8th, Medina. Well, you could say even Oliver is at the front of it, and he's definitely about to be at the front of it because he just went down. And a couple other riders were down in the mix as well. So if you are Holiak, you just got 4 spots for one in that one corner right there. 5 spots, I should say. He was 16th at the beginning of the lap. He's now 11th. And there's still a big group right in front of him. Phil Bull. Coming up a touch short. Right in front of him there, that was Mahan. Yes, it is Mahan. Whoa! Phil Bull and the Aussie lag puts Mahan on the deck. Phil Bull and the Aussie lag. That's the name of my new band. How about Holiak? 16th at the beginning of this lap. He's now 10th. Ran a 101 flat, so it wasn't like he was setting the world on fire. Just able to avoid some of the carnage there for a bit. Let's go back up front, though, because I see we have not a battle for the lead. It was just someone being lapped. But Jack Haley has moved into 3rd. How about Ivan Medina and Jack Zars getting together here? Frisky little battle for 6th. Oh, Zars off the track. So Holiak, Davis, well, Davis temporarily went through, and then Holiak got into the back of Zars. Holiak running the red plates, although he is not even close to the points lead right now. Oh, Hillman and Davis getting together, and Mahan and Richards. 4 guys in the air at the same time. Oh, and Hillman, oh my goodness, Mahan came from out of nowhere, got a twofer, and put Devin Davis on the ground. And Devin Davis looks like he may have just called it an evening. That was a touch aggressive from Mahan. I'm not too sure what he had in mind there, but it is racing. They were all kind of close together. Davis did make a mistake. Oh, Holiak and Zars. I don't think Holiak's too happy with that track reentry Zars had, so let's see if he gets back around him. Yes, he does. Doing the 450 big boy line through there. Picked up a ton of time doing it. Cases that jump though, so Zars closes right back in. Holiak not out of the woods just yet. Looks like they're slowly catching the 40 of Phil Bull right there. Oh, rider down. That's Ivan Medina upside down in the berm. Must have lost the front end over the outside rut right there. So all these guys went through. Holiak working on Bull now, though, so he actually got away from Zars a little bit, and he's still doing this line through the rhythm, which is paying off dividends for him. Look at that, just right around the outside of Phil Bull, no problem. But he's going to miss this section up a little bit, so Bull trying to go around the outside of him, squares him off, gets a nice frosty scrub. Now tucks underneath, he's going to go 2. And then over single to the inside. That was actually pretty quick. Pulled up right next to Holiak for a second. And Holiak casing the finish line jump. Almost got landed on by Bull. Now across the start straight. Bull is trying to do whatever he can to get back by. But Holiak now finally secures that position. Although Bull is not done fighting just yet. Oh, and Holiak dumps it all by himself. Lost the front end on that rut coming out of the corner there. So he's going to be a little bit frustrated. Now he's going to be super frustrated. Just had a legs off there. Meanwhile, DeSalle has not quite got this thing in the bag just yet. 8.5 minutes into this 12-minute plus 1 lap race. And Haley's coming. We saw Haley get 7th in that second main after winning the first one, so it really kind of spoiled his chances at taking the victory here. A 171 would put him on 9 points, whereas even if he got DeSalle and DeSalle went 2-1-2, that'd give him 5 points. He would take home the victory over Haley here tonight. So Haley really needs some luck in regards to DeSalle's case here, on top of him potentially taking the race lead. Two seconds is the gap over the line last time by. DeSalle's looked very comfortable all night long, but Haley just seems to look a little bit better just about everywhere else. Watch on board here for a second, see what he's doing. Just hitting his marks. Aside from Jeremy Smith, might not be anybody that's smoother than Jack Haley. He's just so consistent. Even makes a mistake and is able to kind of turn it into something that looks like it was meant to be. And he is suddenly all over your race leader, Chase DeSalle. Up and over the finish line, 10 minutes in, so 2 minutes plus a lap to go. And Haley gets around him as DeSalle went off the track. And so DeSalle is going to have to respond. And he looks like he's going to try. He is definitely not too thrilled with himself at the moment. But Haley in his smooth style is just going to try to squeeze away here. Look at that rut coming into the whoops. That's how close it still is. Definitely not out of the woods yet. Both of them don't really hit the line I think that they wanted to, but they end up hitting the same exact line as each other. And Haley able to go 3-2, so that was a little bit faster through that section. These guys are gonna just... Looks like it's gonna be probably 2 laps to go, depending on the lap time Haley runs next time by. He crossed at about 11:02, so if Haley ran a 57, which is unlikely, but if he did, it would keep the timer going a little bit longer. It's a 12-minute plus 1 lap race. We'll have to see where exactly he ends up. With DeSalle pushing him, it is possible that they creep down to that 57 range. Either way, it is going to be awfully close. Go on board with Haley because we'll be able to get a better idea here. If the white flag will be waving. We're at 10 seconds to go. I think they're just going to miss it. I don't think Haley realizes how close they are. 58, 59, 12, and white flag did not come out. So they must have just crossed right at or right before 12. That was really close. But the white flag is not waving. So 2 laps to go then. It must be. This is going to be the longest 12-minute plus 1 lap race possible. DeSalle has definitely lost touch with Haley. Burkeen, Williams, Mora, Bowl, Zars, Medina, Oliver getting passed by Holiak. I think those guys have gotten lapped. Get an idea here. Yeah, it looks like Medina is a lap down in 8th. As Haley now officially takes the white flag. Gets a little sketchy coming back onto the start straight. Boy, DeSalle is trying. 2.8 seconds down. You can see they've actually opened up a new line through that first corner. Different options. Oh, Haley was down! What happened to Haley? He went down on the triple in the middle of this rhythm section all by himself. Or was he helped to the ground? Maybe a lapper? Well, that just solidifies DeSalle as being the winner here. The real question is, does Haley get second on 10 points? I'm trying to think where Burkeen has ended up these couple races. I think so. I think he'll still get second. So he'll still extend his points lead. But how about it for Chase DeSalle? Looking at a 2-1-1 on the night. Came out blazing and looked so solid, but here it is. Chase DeSalle is going to be your winner of the Triple Crown in Atlanta, the 250 class. Congratulations to him. Very well deserved. Great rides all night long. Haley's going to finish this one up in second. Burkeen is probably going to hold off Williams for third by the looks of it. Yeah, that is Holiak in 9th, or now 10th it looks like. Or 11th, whatever. That was almost lapped by Burkeen even, and Burkeen finished in 3rd. Mora, Bull, kind of all alone here. Zars, definitely all alone. And then Medina finished a lap down. Oliver, Richards, Holiak, Silic, Baker, Lang, Like, Mahan, Hillman, Parks, Copeland, Alfrey, Davis, and 21 guys of the 22 that were scheduled to start actually lined up. But the man of the hour is this guy right here, Chase DeSalle. And cuts are in. DeSalle almost lost that race on cuts. 3.94 seconds of cuts. He ended up winning that race by 1/10 of a second. If only Haley had gotten a touch closer at the end, that would have changed the victory in that last race, but it would not have changed the overall. DeSalle was going to win either way. And now we're going to have to try to figure out this whole 450 class mess. Siebold enters on 3 points, Mitchell on 6, Leclerc on 8. We know Mullins on 16. Mullins' best case scenario here is to either win this main event and end up somewhere inside of the top 5 overall, or have something really strange happen to Leclerc, because Mullins is going to do nothing but lose points in the championship to Leclerc depending on this last race here. But Mitchell somehow, some way wants to keep it within only losing 1 point to Leclerc this race, or actually gaining points on Leclerc this race, and that will guarantee that he actually gains points towards Leclerc in the championship. Oop. All right, so parade lap out there right now for the final race of the night. 15 minutes plus 1 lap. The last race of the Triple Crown in Atlanta. Hopefully it was a good one for you guys to watch, but we still got one more to go. And it might just be the best race of the night. But here we go. The 30 board has turned sideways. JLV has worked his way off the track. The revs are up. And the final race of the Triple Crown in the 450 class from Atlanta is underway as the gate is down. And it is a land rush. How about Klein on the 10 with a good start? Leclerc has the best, and he is going to get the whole shot, but Mullins down the inside into the second corner. This time will not jump off the track and is going to stay right there in the 2 spot, although Janice down the inside almost puts him on the ground. And then Mullins is going to get that back as Janice made a small bobble, so we got a couple guys in the mix. That was Chapman on the ground. And there is Mitchell right in about the 10 spot early on. But it is Leclerc leading, which is not what everybody else wanted to see. Mullins is going to do the best he can to stick with them. Like I said, bad blood between these two. Definitely a big forum debate between these two the last week. Very, very interested to see what happens if Mullins gets to Leclerc early on. Right now, Leclerc leading and maybe pulling away at the beginning of this first lap. No pressure from Mullins yet. Meanwhile, Mullins is receiving all kinds of pressure from Brady Stanley. Stanley on that 22, the Aussie. Trying to keep Mullins as close as he can. Mullins swinging wide, they're able to go 3 in, but it's not really a huge advantage. Ends up being roughly the same because of where Stanley's able to enter the corner before. Real close action between these two. They've dropped 4th place now, so it's just a 3-rider battle up front. And this is the best we've seen Stanley ride all year long. It honestly looks like he's going better than Mullins at the moment. Just maybe waiting for the potential to make a pass or something. I'm not too sure. Maybe he's just kind of feeling these guys out up front. First time he's been riding up front all year long. So Fresquez in 4th, Mitchell is in 5th. And Mullins continuing to work this outside, gives up the inside to Stanley, who takes it. And now we'll see if Stanley gets to Leclerc. Because if anything messes up Leclerc, physics-wise, it would be lag. And Stanley has got a lag bubble to bring with him. Worst case scenario here for Mullins is that Stanley does not get to Leclerc and ends up slowing them both up. They're still very close. Oh, and Stanley makes a mistake. So Mullins goes back by, and that ended up being not worth his while to end up letting Stanley through, as overall it just cost him time. So the pressure really is on Leclerc here. At the moment, we'd have to see where Seabolt is, but I don't think he's still not going to win this event. But he may be able to save himself losing points to Colton Mitchell in the championship with a ride like this. Meanwhile, Mullins talked about it a lot tonight. He just so desperately wants to get to Leclerc. He's running good times, but Leclerc just consistently doing better ahead of him. The problem Leclerc is creating for himself here, though, is that the pace is so high at the front. They are going to get into lap traffic very quickly, and this is the longest race, so the lap traffic will definitely take more of a toll because they're going to hit more of it. One lapper already going a lap down right there. Couldn't quite see the number, but it was an MV Films rider. Oh, Mullins off the bike, a legs off crash. And meanwhile, here goes Mitchell around Fresquez. Is Mitchell going to get to Mullins? Oh my, that was very close. But yes, he got around Mullins. So it is now Leclerc, Stanley, Mitchell, and Leclerc dumps it with the lead all by himself. Does not fall off the bike, but now Stanley is right there. Maybe a small rut forming on the inside kind of messed up Leclerc a little bit there. And Stanley just made a big mistake himself, so he's actually lost time. Holy cow, Stanley nearly quadded into that section. I think these ruts are starting to play with these guys a little bit more than they expected. More lappers getting out of the way, getting up from a crash, so Stanley able to get by. Like I said, they're just going to get deeper and deeper into lap traffic. 6 seconds down is Mitchell, and Leclerc, another huge mistake, ends up off the track. Didn't lose a ton of time, but look at this. Here is Mitchell into the 2 spot now, and he's only 5.5 seconds down. Let's see what lap time he can run. One lapper between them, and then pretty clear, maybe 2 or 3 lappers that Leclerc will hit within the next 5 to 10 minutes. Otherwise, fairly clear track, and that lapper is out of the way. A 57.1 for Mitchell to a 58.7 for Leclerc. In fact, Leclerc's best time is a 57.1. Mitchell's is a 56.6. So as they run, Mitchell actually will finish ahead of Leclerc on the night, but he will not win the evening, as that will go to Seabolt. So technically speaking, Seabolt should win this event with his scores. Mitchell should finish second, which would give him 23 points, and Leclerc should finish third as they run. Again, that's just a hypothetical, but it seems to be the case of what we're working with right now. And so Mitchell would close down from 9 points to 7 in the championship. Unfortunately, as now that's going to change because Seabolt just got back by, which means that the advantage goes back to Leclerc. Leclerc actually going to gain 2 points in the championship. Got to keep an eye on Mullins as well. This is the best ride Mullins has had all night. As he runs, he would end up on 20 points. So like I said, he just has to hope he can get a top 5 out of this, just salvage. Because it has not been his night. He has struggled. So Mitchell going to try to keep Seabolt in check here. Leclerc continues to run wide there. Holy cow, Seabolt scrubbing down in that rhythm section. Maybe Seabolt's the man on the move. Now down to just over 4 seconds behind Leclerc. Just creeping past the halfway point of this main event, coming up to 8 minutes. Oh man, Seabolt now lays it down. Lots of guys sliding out. Problems with traction maybe. Although usually that's just a case of the road catching them off guard. They expect a line to be developed where they put their wheels, and the line isn't there, so they just hit it all wrong. Now Mitchell and Siebold, they're going to try to hook up and train forward. They both definitely want to get to Leclerc. Leclerc now opting not to go wide here. Does the on-off to the inside. So he can just do the 2-3. Little short there. Oh, now we've lost Siebold again. So it's Mitchell who's all alone in second. And Mullins has gone to third. Almost up over the bars there. So Siebold back to fourth. And again, now we're starting to get into the air of this maybe swinging Leclerc's way just a little bit. 1-2 scores for Siebold. Sitting in fifth right now? Fourth. So 1-2-4 would be 7. Leclerc leading the race right now is on 9 points. So a couple more lost spots for Siebold, and suddenly Leclerc ends up winning this thing. Though again, got to keep an eye because, whoa, man. Honestly, Mitchell might have a shot at winning this thing too. Wow, somebody just got flipped upside down. Couldn't tell if that was lag. Mitchell is still pretty close to Leclerc, but Mitchell, as they run, entered on 6 points, is on 8 points, so he's actually ahead of Leclerc on the standings. I think it is Siebold on 7, Mitchell on 8, and Leclerc on 9 as they run, which is awfully close. I think the last moto determines the winner. So if Mitchell stays where he is and Siebold goes backwards, Mitchell actually wins. Leclerc would probably get second then. Either way, Mitchell is in a good spot because if he stays where he is or goes forward, he's gaining points on Leclerc towards the championship. I know it's all a tad confusing, but that's the real crux of this situation. So we'll see if Mitchell... Someone should probably be telling him that he doesn't need to pass Leclerc necessarily to make his situation any better. But if he does pass Leclerc for the win, which that just got a little bit more difficult as Stanley ended up upside down in front of him. If he passes Leclerc for the win, I believe that changes it just enough that Mitchell takes the win overall. Leclerc would end up third behind Siebold. Although, again, we'll have to see. This is going to be real tight, real closely contested. So Mitchell had done quite a bit of work to get up to Leclerc, and then one mistake out of Stanley kind of undoes all that work he did. Mitchell, mistake again. Getting around his teammate, Russ Chapman. They're really kind of hoping for another Leclerc, another mistake out of Leclerc, another Leclerc out of Leclerc. "12 minutes in, coming up here in just a second. About 5 seconds away from 12 minutes in, so we're coming up to 3 minutes plus 1 lap to go. And Mitchell has coughed up second. Mullins has gone through. And that switches it again because now Siebold will win, Leclerc will finish second, and Mitchell will finish third. So this is not what Mitchell wants. He wants to get in front of Mullins. For Mullins' sake, all he cares about is points, points, points. So the further up he can finish in this one, the better for him. And really still not 100% sure where it is with these two. I think they might be okay after that incident at Phoenix. But if they're not, this could be one of the toughest passes Cole Mitchell has to make all year, because these guys are all so closely matched and they all seem to end up front. that the points that they can gain towards each other is huge in the championship. And Mitchell really badly needs to get around Mullins. He definitely needs to gain those points on Leclerc. He needs to keep putting the pressure on him, keep closing it down. You give Leclerc an inch and he takes 3 feet, that's for sure. It is Mullins versus Mitchell, the battle for second on your screen. Just shy of 6 seconds behind race leader Alexis Leclerc. These guys are kind of working on each other a little bit, trying to figure out what the other's doing. Maybe Mitchell looking for an opening somewhere. Let's take a look at lap times real quick. 58.4 for Mullins. Matches Leclerc, who just made another huge mistake in that rhythm section. 57.7 for Mitchell, so he is the fastest of the 3. Unfortunately, he's running out of time. We are just shy of 15 minutes now. We're at the 14-minute mark, and Mullins having to avoid a downed rider opened up a door there for Mitchell, but Mullins has just responded so neatly to all this pressure. Seabold is all alone in 4th now, so really, he is going to win this thing. The only way he won't is if Mitchell wins the race, and that is a very clear indication of the relationship between Mitchell and Mullins. Mitchell just absolutely shunted Mullins off the track, and I can't believe I just saw that. But now Seabold goes through into 3rd. I know Mitchell needed those points, but I thought maybe he would figure out a little bit of a cleaner way to do it. Either way, he moves into 2nd. And if Leclerc rides this thing home, Leclerc will end up 3rd on the night behind Mitchell, who will get 2nd on the night. Your winner will still be Seabold, but Mullins probably now fuming. And down, oh man. Yeah, report from our stream chat is that Jesse's stream, he streams these races from his perspective. He was none too happy at that move, but meanwhile, coming to get the white flag is race leader Alexis Leclerc, 6.5 seconds or so in front of Mitchell. He's just got to survive this last lap, and he will limit the damage that could have been done. Mitchell's still going to gain points on him on the night, but Leclerc definitely could have had things go a little bit less his way than did. Seabold is still going to win this event. Very interesting night in Atlanta. Mullins will lose points towards Leclerc in the championship. Mitchell's going to close this thing down to 7 back heading into Daytona, which is really a crapshoot. But Leclerc did everything he could do in this last race to keep the damage limited. Unfortunately, it's just not going to work out exactly as he'd hoped, but regardless, it's still a great way to end his night as Alexis Leclerc takes the win in the final main event at Atlanta. Colton Mitchell comes through in 2nd and will earn 2nd place on the evening ahead of Leclerc in total points. But your winner on the night, 1, 2, 3 are his scores for 6 points total. Jeremy Seabold takes the victory. Mullins is going to end up on 20 points. He is going to have to hope that ends up inside of the top 5 somewhere to keep this thing close for him. If he ends up 4th or 5th, he will only lose 2 or 4 points to Leclerc, so the damage could be minimal at best. Adam Holm ends up in 5th. Sean Klein, Matthias Janis, Chase Blakely, Jeremy Cohenauer, so Cohenauer picks up his first main event win of his career tonight in the 2nd main, ends up 9th in this one. I'm sure he'll be thrilled with his ride in the overall spectrum. Chapman, Hubbard, Whelan, don't know who. I don't think we're waiting on anybody, so we're just waiting on cuts. So while we wait on cuts. Up, there we go. Nothing changed inside of the top 10, and that is going to do it. Jeremy Siebold, your winner in Atlanta on a wild night in round number 2 of the Triple Crown. And that is going to do it for us here on SYS tonight. Thank you all so much for joining us. Of course, huge shout out to our presenting sponsor of this broadcast, Versus PC. Can't thank them enough for all of the help that they've done setting up this broadcast for us. Big shout out to MotoOption Clothing and Race Tech being a part of the series, as well as FamMX Designs, MXS Servers, Squid Squad, and MXS EMF for putting on the event, and MX Simulator for being just a fabulous game. But round number 9 is in the books, the second round of the Triple Crown. Next week we'll be in Daytona. Gonna be a wild week there, and we hope you guys will join us then, same time, same place, live here on SYS TV. But for Kellen Brower and all of us here at Start Your Systems, we hope to see you guys next week, and we hope you guys enjoyed this broadcast. But here's us signing out from Atlanta.